only a very diverse community ethnically, which we're very proud of, but we're also a very diverse community income-wise, as well as our business community is also very diverse. Skokie is very welcoming to nonprofits. Not all communities are welcoming to nonprofits. In the Skokie Chamber, we have over 30 nonprofit social service agencies that either call Skokie home or do business within the village of Skokie. So again, no surprise that Housing Opportunity Development Corporation has landed here in Skokie. At this time, I'd like to introduce our event coordinator, Zuanetta Ratliff, who helps check all of you in. And the mayor will also be introducing the village dignitaries that are here. And want to thank Needs and Wants for doing the catering. So Needs and Wants is located on Lincoln Avenue, and it's one of our very special family-owned small businesses. So thank you very, very much. At this time, I would like to introduce Skokie Mayor George Dusen to come up and say a few words of welcome and introduce some of the village staff that's here.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Okay. If you can't, you're lucky. My dad once told me that an occasion like this, if you want people to remember you, be bright, be free, and be gone. I still try and do that. I do have a tendency to be a little on the loquacious side, but I'll try, considering the weather today, not to. Our village manager, John Lockerbie, is with us. John? Peter Meyer is with us also. Peter has worked on this project specifically and does a lot of planning for the village of Skokie. I thought I saw Leslie Murphy, but I'm not sure she was going to be attending. I know she's on our development staff. It is a pleasure to welcome HODC. Not only are we diverse, we represent over 100 different geographic areas of the world. 90 plus different languages are spoken in our homes. But our housing stock is as diverse as our population. We look forward to working with you. I'm acquainted with you a little bit in my previous life. I worked for a congressman and worked for your predecessor. You do good work, and we look forward to it. So please feel free to get in touch with us at any time. If you have a complaint, call Lockerbie. If you have a compliment, call me directly. Seriously, call us anytime. We'll be happy to talk with you and see if we can be of help. Good luck today. The weather is holding up for us. I think that's a good omen. Howard? All
right, at this time I'd like to thank Executive Director Richard Koenig for including us, and this is a wonderful celebration. Afterward, you're all welcome to go into the building, take a look at the wonderful new facilities, and at this time I'd like to introduce Mr. Koenig to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Richard Koenig, Executive Director of Housing Opportunity Development Corporation. I assume most of you know what we are and what we do, but for those of you who don't, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization that develops affordable housing for low and moderate income families throughout the northern suburbs. What you may not know is that actually the first buildings that we ever did were located here in Skokie. Back in 1987, the very first building that HODC ever purchased was located here in Skokie. And the second building we ever financed was in 1994. That was actually financed by a brilliant young loan officer. And then the organization was an executive director, and I decided to come on and run the organization. So when I started, I was the only staff person. We had a couple of units. We didn't have any money. We didn't have any track record. But luckily, I had no experience. So I didn't know what it meant to fail, and all we could do was go up from there. So the organization has actually been around since 1983, and really we were founded by community leaders who wanted to try and find a way to make the North Shore community more inclusive. And we've hopefully been able to do that over the past many years by creating housing for low-income families, people who need affordable housing to be near their jobs, to be near their communities where their support networks are, for seniors who have aged in place and want to be able to live in the community where they raise their families. In the past 25 years, we have developed over 500 units of affordable housing valued at over $150 million. We've grown from one staff person sitting in a corner to now 25 staff people. At this time, I'd like to recognize my staff people who are hiding in the back. Please raise your hands, staff people, when you put all this together for us. Thank you all so much. So we folks inside, and you can grill them about what they do. They love to talk about those who we help, those who we provide housing for. But we work so hard every day to try and make sure that people have the ability to live in a community that has access to good jobs, to schools, to transportation. It's just such a blessing to be able to do this type of work, to serve the people who need the housing that we're able to provide. So at this time, I have the privilege of being able to introduce one of our tenants. Zuanetta has been living with us, and she would like to go up and say a few words.
How you all doing today? Good. Great. My name is Zuanetta Ratliff, and I got my speaker for me. I say good evening. My name is Zuanetta Ratliff, and I'm here to inform you and share my knowledge as well as my personal experience about Skokie housing for families, low income and moderate. The buildings are very nice, kept up inside and out by the maintenance team, cleaning crew, and the building managers. It is a team effort, and I can say that they work together to provide a clean and safe living space for the family. The amenities that are offered makes everyday living more accessible and enjoyable, and that's something I value as a tenant. The help they give to the community is also a plus. I thank God every day since I received the call telling me that I was number 2 on the waiting list. It was something that I needed, being disabled. It's something that I needed to afford housing. And I thank God every day for that. I'm extremely happy to be a part of Skokie community, coming from the south side of Chicago to my condo in Evanston. I've always loved Skokie, shopped there many times over the years. And I'm glad to be called, so I can call it my home now. Thank you so very much.
We're so excited to be able to provide housing for people like Zuanetta and all the residents who live with us. While we've developed quite a few properties over the number of years, we actually have a lot of properties still in the pipeline. We're not stopping now. We continue to grow and move forward. We have active properties we're developing right now in communities as diverse as Deerfield, Northbrook, Evanston, all the way out to McHenry. We continue to grow and find opportunities to create housing. About 5 years ago, we had just over 200 units, and we set a goal of trying to double that in the next 10 years. Unfortunately, we doubled it in 5 years. So we decided, what the heck, let's double it again in the next 5 years. And we're on track now to have over 500 units by 2025. So next year is our 40th anniversary, and so we're excited to have our permanent home here in Skokie, but none of this would have been possible without the great leadership of our board board of directors, if you're on the board, please raise your hand. Board members standing the booth. Board members in the back. Because of our board of directors, that we have the connection to the community, that we work in such a diverse number of communities. They really know what we need to do, who the communities are. They have access to the leadership and are able to give us guidance and advice and really direct the organization to help us be successful. I really have to credit our board president, Bill Sholten, with the idea of even owning our own office building. So we're here today to celebrate the grand opening of our building. We've been here about a year, but just 2 years ago, I never would have dreamed that we would have had a permanent home. This was even beyond what I thought was possible for us. It was really Bill's idea, it was Bill's dream that we could have a permanent home. So I'd like to invite Bill up to say a few words. Just really like to recognize Bill Sholten. Please come on up.
Thank you, Richard. And this is a wonderful celebratory event. And as Richard mentioned, we'll do our 40th anniversary in what, 2 years? Next year. But a really exciting thing for us is that this year ahead will be Richard's 25th year with this organization. Congratulations. Thank you also to the team, the staff that put this celebratory event together. Thank you also to my director colleagues that are all here today, and I hope you'll have a chance to meet them afterwards. Thank you also to Howard Meyer, Skokie Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to George Van Dusen, Skokie. Thank you very much. As well as our other governmental and vendors and financial supporters that have really helped make possible the 25 plus projects and the over 500 affordable units that HODC has developed. I'd like to specifically identify or specifically address the financial supporters because as HODC grows, we place even more reliance on the available capital to fund our pre-development expenses for our projects. Currently, there's both a huge need as well as for affordable housing, as well as the opportunity for HODC to participate in the development of these new projects. Seeing the need for incremental capital, the HODC Board of Directors decided about a year ago to embark on our first capital fundraising campaign. The key campaign was approved with the objective to raise $500,000 over a 3-year time frame. I'm happy to report that to date, the board and a number of key contributors have raised around $300,000. A nice start. We now hope to broaden the reach of the key campaign, taking it public, in order to reach the campaign goal. So I ask you to please consider the support for the key campaign to help HODC develop even more affordable housing in the Chicago suburbs. We're pleased to be here today to celebrate the opening of the new offices in Skokie. I think it's time to cut the ribbon. Mayor, can you come on up? And can I also have the board's officials, John Lockerbie here, and so Leslie Murphy, Peter, come on up. Okay. And any of the board members for HODC, sorry. Taking opportunity.
Stand right in front of this. Get on up here.
Come on behind the ribbon. Two rows, okay? All right, before we do this, Jerry, are you all set for the picture?
Yeah, both of us are here.
Okay.
On 3, 1,
Come on.
come on.
1, 2, 3.